Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast Live. My name is John, and tonight we're going to break down, take a look at a couple game trailers that, well, I think they looked awesome, but we're going to see what you all think about it. And we're also going to see what Andrea thinks about it. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Happy almost
Um,
Father's Day.
Thank you. Yes. Yep. Almost there.
Yeah,
I,
you get to spend the night before doing something you enjoy, talking about gaming and gaming trailers. So, not a
yep.
bad kickoff there.
Just chilling. I got my gift from Ashley, my Father's Day gift already.
Ooh, what'd
And
you get?
it's like, I don't remember the name of the company right now, but it's this sort of Japanese inspired, um, like overshirt kind of thing.
Okay,
I'll wear it
cool.
on here sometime. It's just too warm right now to put it
Sure,
on for in here.
sure.
But
Yeah, no. Next anime show locked in.
yeah, it's one of like you're not sure how it would look on you to start, and then I wore it some today, and it looks nice. It's made in America, and looks like they have a lot of good clothes. So yeah.
Very cool.
Let's see. Let's see. Change this over here. So you like this background? Like
I
the
do.
That's fun, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
electric wave looking thing here.
hmm I need to get a new I think a new opening for the this podcast live thing here too. Just
Sure.
this is a little bit abbreviated, but anyways, we won't be abbreviated when it comes to talking about these trailers. The first light 007 first light
Yep.
trailer is just over 3 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
and the Resident Evil Requiem trailer is just 3:30,
Yep.
3:38. So we're going to I recommend to everybody, if you haven't seen them, I think it's best to get the full gist of it, played all the way through, volume up, all that sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. I don't think we can do that here. We're gonna have to break it into
No.
pieces. So we're not, I don't know how it all works. We're not monetized, so I'm not like, oh, we're gonna get, this video is gonna be not monetized anymore by playing it. But you can have stuff just become not visible if you go too far. So
Right.
that's what we want to avoid. You've seen both of these trailers now, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their entirety. Okay. What do you want to start with?
I mean, I feel like you know what I would want to start with.
um, Probably the opposite of me, but that's like either one. Like
Yes.
it's okay. So you want to talk about Resident Evil?
I will let you choose though, John,
No,
because
let's
it
let's
is
go. Let's
Father's
go
Day.
Resident Evil. That's all right. Let's do that. I
All
should
right,
ask.
we'll get the darkness out of the way first.
There you go. Is there are you having any sort of libation tonight?
Oh, I don't. No.
Okay. All right. I mean it's no prerequisite here. Just I thought talking about James Bond, I had to do it. So I've just
I
got
know, I
it's
know.
it's
Nice.
it's super simple. It's gin, Campari, and orange juice. So
Nice, nice. No, I was like this close to yeah, making myself a drink and then just like ran out of time because we were having a family party tomorrow and I was baking my contribution and then was like, "Oh boy,
mm,
gotta
yeah.
scoot on downstairs and get talking to John." So I have
Yep.
water.
Nice. Well, that's good. I got water too. Um Before we get into it, let's see. I'll get it shared here, and then let everybody know. Let's see. Let's do this tab. Um, I have to do. I think because I'm logged in two different accounts, so I got to use Firefox on this other one, and it doesn't work quite as well for
Sure.
doing this. So
No
mm,
worries.
yeah,
Um
I'm crud. Yeah, I have to do.
while you're working your tech wizard magic, I will just share that I watched this trailer, solo on YouTube, and then like right after it popped up, YouTube was like, "Do you want to watch the trailer as it was shown at Summer Game Fest?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I got like a a viewing of everybody in the audience at Summer Game Fest watching the trailer. And that was really fun. I'm glad I did that. Because not only did I get to hear like the, solo on YouTube and then like right after, but then also I got to hear the screams of joy when they figured it out. And also the YouTube trailer has a vague 2026 release Game Fest, but Game Fest has it as specifically February 27th, 2026.
Oh, okay.
So I got that little extra piece of info.
Sure. Yeah, I think, let's see, I saw the Bond trailer in this first announcement, and then Res Evil I saw after the fact, just the straight trailer. So
sure.
Okay, I'm hoping this works here. I'm gonna like listen to the audio a little bit and make sure. And we'll just anytime you want to interject, and I'll pause it. And if you don't interject, I'm still gonna pause it. All right. Res Evil Requiem. I'm gonna like listen to the audio a little bit and make sure. So at what point did you know, and I'll pause this was Res Evil? And if you don't interject, I'm still gonna pause. Oh, can you not hear me anymore?
It did a little playback. So I was just waiting for that to be over.
Like it's doubling up or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. We gotta fix this. I know what's going on here then. I know what's going on here. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this. So for whatever reason, you can share tabs in, maybe it's because the browser I'm using for Restream is Edge. And so I can share a tab and the audio from that. And instead of using a different browser, I can't do that. And the only reason I want to use a different browser so I can be logged in a different account that I pay for YouTube, so we don't have to have any sort of ads or anything like that. That's why. But
gotcha.
We'll make this work. We'll make it work.
I was gonna say, John, you stopped it during the scariest part, the mundane office work.
Yeah.
You really open and grab you. Just, the phone calls, the coffee, the shifting papers. My God.
What I was wondering is, when did you realize this was a Resident Evil trailer? Like, at what point in this were you like, oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
or if you think you noticed, so when we get there, like, call it out.
Yeah. I mean, it was early-ish. But it certainly wasn't this early, although I did notice like the very realistic characters and like the kind of shaping of facial features, and was just like, yeah, this looks familiar, but there could be other games that have this.
I need to pause it on a better. This is, this is getting suspicious here then,
Yeah, unidentified disease is always like a red flag.
Okay. We do take it for granted. Like, you're talking about the facial features and all that sort of thing. Like, the Resident Evil engine looks good. Like, it looks really good. There's a lot of games that, it's 2025. And so you see stuff like The Last of Us or whatever that's, a little more, it's more linear and it's incredibly impressive. But a lot of games still definitely aren't there. And the Resident Evil
Mhm.
games, they look good.
Grace. Grace. Grace Ashcroft.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I want to say. Her cubicle is very messy.
Yes.
It's a disaster zone for sure.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely reeks of, personal investigation as well, I think.
Yeah.
Obsession, poring over case files, a lot
Yep.
of, what we would say, like, bordering on conspiracy theory,
Right. It's
but
Charlie with the web, up
exactly.
room syndrome.
Yeah. No, but it really is. But I mean, once you know her backstory, you get it.
Yeah, so like daughter of someone from a
Alyssa.
from Resident Evil, what is it, Outbreak?
Ooh, I
Um
think so.
a Resident Evil game I have not played at all is the gist of that. Not one of the main
Yeah,
long ones.
Outbreak.
Outbreak. Okay.
Yeah.
So I really don't know anything
Yeah.
about that. And
Yeah. Yeah, Resident Evil 7. Yeah, I think 6 and 7 are my probably shakiest. Yeah, I think I've maybe played 6 once, and I don't know that I have played 7, to
yeah,
be fair.
I'm the same actually, because it was, it was really Resident Evil. I mean, Resident Evil 7 really turned things around,
Mhm.
but it was when they started doing the remakes. It was in a combination of like, we're going forward in this first person mode that's
Mhm.
good. And then
Mhm.
you had like Resident Evil 2 remake, like brought the
Mhm.
franchise back.
Yeah,
So
little 1-2 punch for sure.
yeah, I kind of dipped, with 6, like a lot of people did, I think, and then
Mhm.
didn't really come back until 2 remake and Village. So
Yep. Same.
Yes?
My office.
Oh, coming.
Messy,
I'm just thinking
messy.
she's like flustered and stuff right now. Just wait, lady, till you're gonna be real flustered. She's gonna trip over things and make tons of noise. That's what I'm worried about. See, when I saw this at first, it's like, oh man, I don't know. She's gonna have to step up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have something to say about that later for sure, because I don't
Okay.
wanna interrupt, like, this piece of the trailer, but yes, she is, not coordinated, to put it mildly.
If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now, I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
So are you like happy to be moving on from Winters? Because I thought there was gonna be one more Winters game, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Just because they're branching a different direction doesn't mean there wouldn't be an Ethan Winters game. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with some of the things I've heard about this one,
okay.
and possibly some characters that will appear in it.
In fairness, I didn't play the DLC to Village.
Sure.
Dustin did, and he said he really liked it, and that's with Ethan's daughter, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So maybe that's really what kind of wraps that up, and I'm just missing out on that. So, but
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't think I played that either.
because they
I
did
should.
the DLC update, and then they did the update where you can play in first person or third person.
Right.
And like
Yeah, I
Dustin
should
really
go back
liked
and
the
do that.
Do you prefer a first person or third person for Resident Evil games?
I like a third person. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I kind of enjoy that. Like
Mhm.
looking over the shoulder, third person. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I get the thing, is it if they're gonna do some body horror like they did with Ethan in a sense, like my hands, what that
Yeah.
kind of thing, and you just try to make it feel like puts you in that place more. It's your hands, but
Right.
Are you
Yeah,
happy that? Okay.
I feel like it just makes more sense in the world of Res Evil where you're just so 360 all the time. I don't know what it
Mm,
is about like kind of like peeking down over your character that it's just I don't know. It's something very satisfying about doing that versus being in it.
well,
Like
again, it's scarier. You can't if you're first person, you can't see behind you.
exactly.
The
And I
big
do
lady's
and I'm a
chasing you.
panicker. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
I'm like, "Oh,
mhm.
yeah. Like, whereas like third person I'm more like I'm in control of the situation. I'm like omniscient over here, checking it all
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
So yeah. But I mean Res Evil 4 is always my special place in my heart game. And that's third. So I just
Yeah.
get comfortable like that. I do want to say here, I love how nervous Grace is to go to her boss's office and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have the report." Blah. And he's like, "Yeah, you're my top analyst. I need you on this like crazy situation." I'm like, it's like, you know what I mean? You probably
Yeah.
should feel like a little more confident in yourself if he's like
Yeah.
calling you in for this weird stuff and he trusts you. So I did feel like that was kind of a weird disconnect.
But maybe that's, maybe as we discover her character, that's
Yes, maybe
kind of a thing, you know?
that's yeah, wedded to her
So
personality.
she underestimates herself. She keeps, despite like not asking for things and being not particularly confident, she's so good that she
Mm-hmm.
just, but now is she good at slaying zombies? That's the question.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel.
In this shot, doesn't she look a little like that? I can't say her last name. I don't know how to say her last name. It's she's in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's Mantis, and she's in the Mission Impossible movies, the later ones.
Oh,
Palm.
yeah. Clementif.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Palm Clementif, yeah.
Just looks a little bit like
Yes,
her
I
to
could
me.
see that. I could see that for sure. She's also giving me I don't know, like kind of Alita vibes, like pale, or like I don't know, little Ghost in the Shell vibes. Something just about the paleness and like the very soft glow of her features. I don't know why it's giving
Yeah.
me that.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that's where your mother was murdered.
Yeah.
Alyssa
Already
died 8 years
knew
ago.
right here.
Okay. Yeah. When it was getting in this
Absolutely.
crazy stuff.
Even from the like first flash of like, desolated or like decimated and kind of, post-apocalyptic scenery, zombie
Mhm.
apocalypse for sure. You get a hooded figure, it's Resident Evil.
Could have been Silent Hill. I don't know.
No.
Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
I have to say, I was a little bit like, okay, we need our top analyst. I know this is where your mother died, but maybe it's time that I'm your psychologist right now. I'm your therapist here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time that you face it, you know? And so not that
Yeah.
I really you know, it's more for you that I'm having you do this. It's really for you.
Right, right. I'm really doing you a favor
Yeah.
asking you to go to where your mother was murdered and like have some
Mhm.
sort of psychological, resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely rang pretty hollow. He's like, why don't you
Mhm.
move on?
Yeah.
Grace.
What is this? Hey!
This is a great shot. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to stop the trailer at this point now. It's like I just want to keep it going, but it's a scary situation, of course. How'd you get there? You're all tied up. That's good. I liked her boots. Um
Yeah, it's a good flash. You know what I mean? Like closing your eyes because you're like, oh God, this is gonna be so traumatic, and then opening your eyes to fresh new trauma. It's
mhm.
great. Absolutely
Mm.
excellent. And it's the terror is so evident. They do it so well in her expression. I think like the sweat glistening on her skin, like the pulling. It's great.
Mhm.
Absolutely terrifying. And then this, yes, is a gorgeous, beautiful shot.
Mhm. Cuz that's where the Resident Evil engine's really excelling is the environments. Like the
Yes.
people are good, but the environments are they're clean and lush
Mm,
and detailed.
mm-hmm.
Like playing
Yes.
through Village, you know,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
manor in particular, like walking
Mm-hmm.
around, like that was looked really good. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and they do both well. I mean, being in the manor in Village, but then also being in the village in Village, like the
mm,
environments are always
mhm.
quality.
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for.
I love that the Resident Evil games still have, still save at typewriters. We
Mhm.
got a phonograph here.
Yep.
It's nice.
Yep.
So that's always nice. Who's this mysterious guy, huh?
Yeah. Sounds vaguely Latin.
Hmm.
And I can't tell if
Hmm.
there's like a curvature of the face or if there's like a mask. Like you
Hmm.
can see it on the right side. It's very smooth past his hair. So it could be like a smooth face or it could be something creepy.
Ooh, I'd like a mask. That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Phantom. It's Phantom of the Opera.
it's Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
God.
The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
I mean, we get the big boom here, and like, what the heck
Mhm.
happened in what city here?
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Feels like, somebody with an eye should be able to see what city this is based on.
yeah. Yeah. I don't have a good like grasp on, where this is in the Resident Evil timeline or even what is happening in the larger Resident Evil timeline. I really
Sure. I
don't.
mean
So
I mean, really they don't want you to.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
At this point,
Hmm.
not at a trailer.
Sure.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Do we recognize any of those voices? Like, I want to say one of them's Leon, but I don't know. And there's kind of a southern-y sounding guy. A
Mhm.
little bit of cowboy-ness.
Yeah, so I mean, you bring it up, so I'll say it. I mean, I've read and heard a lot of chatter that Leon is definitely in this game and possibly as a playable character. And possibly as a large chunk player character.
Okay.
So,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I obviously would love that. And it was
Yeah.
what I was kind of, alluding to further that, maybe Grace's klutziness will not affect your gameplay too much because you may not play as her for
Mhm.
significant portions of time. But that's obviously TBD because this trailer
Yeah.
is all about her and her background and her, current position set up the mythology of this game. So
I feel like it'd be a bit bait and switch if she wasn't the main protagonist. I
yeah,
know it's a
and when I
reveal
say
trailer,
Leon may be
but
playable large chunks of time, I don't know that that makes him,
yeah,
overtake Grace as the main protagonist. But
yeah,
I'm just, and also this is unconfirmed.
yeah. I can see it being like, I mean, I hope they don't really do it this way exactly. Like, I can see it like Resident Evil Village, where you're Ethan, but then you have your segments where you're playing Chris Redfield, and
Right.
the gameplay is really different because Chris gets like, um, tons of weaponry. He's like
Mhm.
loaded, and so
Yeah,
it's a very different kind of gameplay, and
for
I
sure.
appreciate that sort of idea. Like we can give people both kinds that they like or whatever, but so I could see him doing
Mhm.
that type of thing, I guess, or something similar with putting Leon in here.
Yeah, I mean it kind of depends on how well people reacted to that. If, a majority of
Hmm.
people love that, I mean, why wouldn't you try to do it again and work in another fan favorite?
Yep. Yep.
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
I mean, here's the police right here's the
Raccoon.
police station.
Yeah.
So
Raccoon.
here's and it's like it's effed, So
No.
I guess this is Raccoon City. Presumably it was the same
But maybe, but
areas.
like look at that cuz like you see at the end there it says POL what it looks like, but before that doesn't exactly look like raccoon. Does it?
Maybe.
Maybe
I
that N is like smudged into kind of an A looking thing and it could be raccoon police.
Yeah, I think it's
Do
Raccoon
you see what I'm
Police.
trying to point at in the middle there?
Yeah.
Where it
Yeah.
kind of looks like an A, but maybe it's part of an N.
Hmm. I mean, I guess I could be trying to throw people for a loop somewhere or something like that. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not the
It's
obvious
most
thing you're thinking.
right. It's most likely raccoon PD.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, the thing coming from the ceiling was great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's oh. Oh,
Oof. Creepy giant. It's yes. Creepy. I love it.
Yeah, that's good. The
Yeah.
Resident Evil games I mean, they've evolved so much in terms. I mean, the first one I played was Resident Evil 1 kind of remake or whatever on the GameCube. And
Yeah, sure.
it it's very, from what I played of it, because I didn't get very far, was very zombies. Zombie people, zombie dogs, zombies. And then the one different thing you had obviously was wow, I'm blanking on his name. The big bad. With the glasses.
Of Resident Evil. Oh.
I don't know why I can't think of his name right now.
But it's okay. I'm also blanking because my mind was on like a super different train of thought.
The guy.
Yeah.
Wesker, Albert Wesker.
Oh God, yeah, Jesus.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, like, and so he was the extra weird one. But since then, they've really expanded to a lot of different creatures and things. Like you used to always thinking of it as zombies, and now, yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. So I do like that variety of horror we get now.
Yeah, I was thinking this kind of creature is giving me a little bit of Regenerator, like slow moving, creepy, like extended limbs, but it's also giving me like a little bit of Lady from Res Evil Village, where it's like extra size. You know what I mean? Like there's
Sure.
nothing about this demeanor that says it's a person,
Right.
and nothing more than like a creature. I'm just saying like this kind of extra gigantic size is now what my brain associates with her when she kind of like fully devolves into her, altered state. She gets like a lot bigger.
It looks like there's someone either standing way in the back here, in the like archway way
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back, or if maybe it's a painting or a statue or something like that. But
Yeah, it could be.
I love the stuff that we'll play here. The little bit of the stuff they kind of, like Village. They played around with 8, in
Yep.
the V.
The type.
Yeah, here they're switching
Yep. The 9, yeah.
9. So. February 27th. Just in time. I mean, not quite in time, but pretty close. Or a season of love. What better game?
Who knows? Maybe this is all about romantic love.
Maybe. Yeah.
And how it goes very wrong. I mean, that Latin dude was like, "You're the one I've been waiting for,"
That's true.
All these years I've been blind. It was you. So this could be a love story, John.
I have to say, I don't much care for, like, it's fine. It doesn't, I'm not like Dustin dove into the lore and all this other stuff that is in the games. That's there. You can read it. You can make all the connections. Like for me, I just play scary game. And if the core story of that individual game is passable, then I'm good.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like I dipped a little bit more into the lore. I'm sure I don't know as much as Dustin, but starting with 4, that's a pretty deep jump into like what is happening. So I definitely had to dive in and catch myself up a little bit before I went back and played other games. So I think it's like a little bit more because and then again in 5 there were a lot of allusions to past games, past villains, like past projects under Umbrella. Like you had to know a little bit of something, or it just felt like I am missing why this is significant. Or like Chris would react to stuff sometimes, and I'd be like, I don't get that. So yeah, so I really enjoyed diving into some of the lore of Res Evil.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely didn't need the spoiler. The spoilers ticker has been on. It's like, what spoilers are we talking about with this trailer? There's no spoilers. I guess there other Res Evil games or something, but
I mean, I spoiled everything when I said Leon could be a playable character. So you're gonna be coming after me.
Yeah, with the playable character, I'm happy it's a new character. I'm happy to go back to Jill or Chris or Leon or Claire or whatever, that's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of good that there's a new one, and because then we get, there'll undoubtedly be a remake of a different game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a familiar character we play there in a remake, and then we have a new character in the kind of main line going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be interesting. And obviously, like, it is a situation like Village where it's like the daughter of, so she's still tied in and she knows stuff that went before, and we've been with her mother. So it's not like a totally left field character. They're still kind of, I think
Right.
doing a smart thing, but also playing it a little safe by not just being like, here's this like totally left field, brand new, character that knows nothing about this world.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any other final thoughts on Resident Evil 9 Requiem?
I'm excited. I love to get scared during a game, and this looks like it could be good for some thrills.
Yeah.
I did see that there's a gameplay demo coming, I think either July or August. So I'll be interested to see that as well.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it. I won't play it because I'll probably just wait and
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
play it
there's
when it
anything
comes out.
new to, there's no desperate
Mhm.
need to play it, but it'll be interesting to see like if they give any hints about, content that's there too.
Well, before this gets here, you should like pick up Silent Hill 2 remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ashley and I were playing through that.
That's been a hot
we want
minute.
to try to like set aside like a night a week, or at least every other week that
For
we
gaming?
sit and play. Yeah,
Solid.
like stick with a horror game and play that together, and then mostly she'll watch or whatever because she doesn't like playing scary games. And
Okay, I was gonna say play together as in like 2-player, or just like, somebody's playing and you're kind of there with them.
Yeah, well, what we would do
Because
historically,
those are two
like,
very different prospects.
yeah, way back in the day, we would do like with Half-Life, we would just take turns with a death. So we'd
Oh,
sit
sure.
together, someone has plays, and then when you die, you switch. And if it was a game that you didn't die much, it could be every level or mission or whatever, you could swap
Sure,
out them
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But and so
You could
we
set your
were
own
like,
rules.
yeah, we were gonna do that with Silent Hill, but she just doesn't like playing scary games much. She'd much rather just watch it. So
Sure.
yeah.
Oh, I love playing scary games. Even when I panic and I'm like, oh my God, I still love it. I think it's because I'm not afraid to die.
limits.
You know what I mean? Like I
Sure.
do it enough. Like it's in a game, obviously.
Yeah.
But somewhere like Borderlands, when I panic and start knifing everything, you just die.
Mhm. Yep. There are limits. Like, Resident Evil 4's, got a lot of action in it and sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at it, but like Dead Space is nail biting. I mean,
Sure.
Dead Space is, and Silent Hill 2 remake so far it like definitely has high intensity things. But man, it's something about those creatures in Dead Space coming at you, and you have to like you have to use your gun and you change the angle of it to chop off their limbs so they stop coming
Sure.
at you and stuff. You can't
Sure.
just yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, there's stuff
Right.
that really stays with you, I
Mhm.
mean, I loved in Village just like turning around every 5 seconds, and Lady Dimitrescu was just like there again.
Mhm.
Jesus, like you're everywhere. Or in
The-
4, you've got regenerators just slowly like breathing their way at you, and you're just like, oh my God, how close? And then they'd be like right here. Yeah,
the
yeah,
creepiest
nothing
part
like a
of Village
good,
to me. What's
horror
that?
game. Sorry, I said nothing like a good horror game. I love it.
Yeah. Well, you got to pick up more. Silent Hill F is coming out. There, there's a trailer
Yes,
for
yeah.
that too. Looks good. So,
What were you gonna say though? Creepiest part
well,
of
just the
Village?
scariest part in Village to me was definitely the baby.
Oh, the
thing.
house. Yeah. Oh, for
Uh-huh.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
That was well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, trying to get to
Yeah.
that elevator and like shut that creepy baby out. Oof.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I died a fair amount of times in there. Especially like they do a good pitch black.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you feel like it should be, just like, oh, it's like black, but somehow it still made you feel like you were seeing pitch black in the house. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like when you have to like find the lights and stuff like that. I don't know. It just felt
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
done.
that's a subtle balance of like blinding your player, or like you don't want to make it frustrating. It needs to be
Right.
scary, not frustrating.
Right. Right. You can't have like a black like rectangle screen. You can't just be like it's nothing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you do, there's I don't remember if it's in Hellblade, the first one. There's something, there's moments where you have to follow the sound. Sometimes you can still see, but you're gonna get lost if you don't follow the sound. They do those sorts of things. So I like that sometimes.
For sure.
Okay, well, from one thing that's scary and will die a lot.
Mhm.
One thing that I don't think is gonna be scary at all, but will probably also die a lot in it. Hopefully, it's challenging enough. Is the new James Bond game,
Mhm.
007 First Light. Have you played many James Bond games?
I have a fair few. But GoldenEye is probably what I know the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really haven't. I've played, of course, GoldenEye. That was huge, big deal. But then I didn't really play much of the other ones. I don't know why exactly. I always was just in the movie space. I
Sure.
think it was,
I was gonna say that
probably in
seems
part.
odd for you, right?
Yeah. I think in part is because a lot of times, historically games of the past that would be based on an IP like this, they're movie tie-ins or something, and they're not as good. Like it's just,
Yeah.
they're relying on the IP, they farm it out to someone else. And so it's just always like a shooter's better if you get a original one that's developed from the ground up by a different team and whatever. That's just my mindset. They did that for a long time with superhero games or something like that. A lot of times there'd be so many that would just be
Yep.
okay or whatever. And so I think that's just my mindset, looking at some of them. I remember trying one of the games as a demo or in a store or something like that was starring Daniel Craig. I think it was
Quantum,
maybe the
yeah.
Quantum of Solace movie tie-in game or something, and I just thought it was okay, so I just yeah. I thought about it'd be fun now kind of to go back to some of the old ones, but that's another thing with these licensed games is, GoldenEye is kind of the rare exception. You don't often get to see them because there's licensing issues. And so if you want to play it, you better have the old system and a copy
Yep,
of the
exactly.
game. So, but yeah, I really want to talk about this because obviously we talk about James Bond on here plenty, and it's been not a lot of James Bond news. We follow what we can with, when there's actor rumors, and then, we cover anniversaries
Right.
or whatever. But as far as new stuff, it's been a while. And I mean, it just seemed like this Hitman team was the perfect team to take on a James Bond game back way when they announced it, however long ago. So yeah, waited with bated breath, and now we finally have a trailer that we'll get into here.
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then...
I already got to interject. Like, what the crap?
Mm-hmm.
I was not really super pleased with this opening story. It felt like taking like the James Bond as an orphan trope and just being like, what's like the maximum amount of trauma we could inject into it? Like it was like so
Okay.
extra. Do you know what I mean? Like his parents cut a rope. He watched them die. He had to find his way off a mountain or die. Like it just felt like a bit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I like it.
It is
I like it. I get what you're
it is
saying,
traumatizing, but
but
like something more like like what am I trying to Skyfall, backstory, or like even thinking about you know, like 006's backstory in Goldeneye, where his
well,
parents were traitors and had to be executed. Like something, I don't know, a little more on the level, but this just felt like a lot of trauma
and I don't
to
know if it
inflict on
was
an 11-year-old boy and have him just like magically survive a mountain, plus like watching his parents die and being like, "We saved you. We're killing ourselves." Like, woof.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it
Do you know
could
what I
still it
mean?
would mess someone up and get him into this kind of, you know,
Right, which has always
death for
been
breakfast kind of
like
role.
right, which has always been, I think core to James Bond. Like he's an orphan with trauma. He's perfect for this kind of service, not only because he's an orphan, but because he has trauma and he takes the risks and, does all the stuff. But yeah, just it felt like a little extra to open with that.
Someone said, I don't know if it's what was originally done or if it's just, playing going off of what they've done in the movies. But that had his parents did die in a climbing accident and that orphaned him. The added part would be they cut the rope to save him and he witnessed it. That would be the added
Exactly.
top
Exactly.
element.
Like right, like do a like Jumanji level like off-screen terrific accident, and he gets a call about it. Like I don't know, just yeah, having having them die in front of him, and they say specifically they cut the rope to save him and he had to find his way off
I
the mountain. Like he was there. What?
I see what you're saying. It didn't bother me, but I do see
Sure.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority. Same
I don't remember what this guy's from, but he's definitely in things.
Yes. I almost know him. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's like he in Lost or something or
He's
Dead.
in
Walking Dead.
Dead. He's
Yes.
yeah. Yep.
That's what it is.
There we go.
He's
Yep.
good in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in the Navy.
What do you think of being in, like, obviously they're creating their own thing from scratch in a sense, but they also have a lot of things that are from the books and the movies. So we're gonna play with this balance back and forth of like new remind you of old stuff. So what do you think of like we have obviously a new M, but then we have an Office that looks very much like The Office.
Yes. Yeah.
From like stuff.
I actually enjoy The Office more. I had a bit of trouble going from Res Evil faces to these faces. So I really did end up looking at kind of like the scenery more. And I love like, kind of the shaft of sunlight hitting the bar cart in the back and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed the kind of like old school, but cleanliness of it. Because it is that like murky time, because this is First Light. This is, earning the 00. So it's back, but it's supposed to be like a kind of soft back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it's designed to be set present day. I'm sure if we look at technology and stuff like that,
Sure.
it's probably going to be present day.
But it's still like it's his past, you know what I mean? So it like is evoking the past.
Yeah.
But not like dated past.
Right. Well, to me that's very, I mean, I like I love The Office and the M's Office and the Craig era. I like to me that's British. It's like a respect for the old and tradition you
Mhm.
know? And so having this kind of old fireplace, this great
Yeah.
craftsmanship, all that sort of thing, I would hate to see some sort of clean,
Modern.
modern,
Yeah, like marble,
sterile,
totally
yes,
yeah, super square edges
or
and
just like any FBI office.
yeah,
Yeah, like it just like, ugh,
devoid of personality
yeah,
and history for sure.
yeah.
Superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in need of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination. It was ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good...
Bond's definitely survived from blind luck before. That's definitely, everybody needs
Right, we just talked about an 11-year-old climbing down off a mountain after watching his parents die, so
Mhm. I mean, you just need it if you're going to be one of the big time. You need a helping hand of luck too.
Mhm.
It's one of those tricky things. It's interesting. Someone brought up that they liked that M was defending Bond at this point and speaking out
Mhm.
for him versus
Yeah.
like how had moved in the movies in the last couple decades at this point or whatever to a very antagonistic relationship. And we talk about
Sure.
that in the books too, how like Bond is
Yeah.
very, he admires M and
Mhm.
doesn't want to disappoint him and all that sort of thing. And they really went
Mhm.
away from that route in the movies where it's kind of a butting heads sort of element. And so I kind of like
Yeah.
that if she's in his corner.
Yeah. Yeah, they clearly have a very, difficult relationship to define because, I mean, we just talked about the movie versus book comparison of Doctor No, and I didn't really enjoy the Doctor No book M. I thought he was a little bit illogical, a bit irritated,
Mm,
a bit short with Bond for, you know, not no reason, but felt like lingering and it felt a little too human where, he's kind of supposed to be this like mythical boss that Bond looks up to because you can definitely feel that in the books. And he was a little bit more even handed in the movie. And I liked that better. He was a little less like, Bond, I'm still so pissed at you after that whole freaking mess. And, now I'm just going to send you on this cush job because I think you can't handle stuff. So,
I mean, do you think it's that way, or do you think is Bond worried that M thinks that way?
I mean,
Is M just being like,
yeah, I think it is Bond
yeah,
thinks
just
that
take
way, but also
this.
because we are reading Bond's point of view, so it's obviously, we can be biased that way, but just like the lines he had in the book and the way that I would read them, it still felt, a little of that like antagonism. And I thought the movie toned it down and made him a little bit more logical. Um and a little bit, even more even tempered. So clearly, the kind of dynamic they have is shifting, I think. But I agree with you here. I like that she's the one defending him, and he's like, "Guys, loose cannon, can't have him." And she's like, "No, it's gonna
Yep,
make him great."
yep.
One good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway.
Greenway.
It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
It's like Tom Cruise.
What do we think of our Bond? You think so?
Does it not look a little bit?
I've heard other people say that.
This shot, I thought it
I-
when I watched this shot, and I didn't think it again. But
Okay.
this hairstyle, like
It
the jacket, like coming out, I don't know, like it just felt a little Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, half Mission Impossible, half Top Gun. And then, like I said, I didn't think that again.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. I guess I didn't think it going in, but I'm just very, as we talked briefly in the last podcast, just how it's easy to scrutinize and be tough on the new guy
Mhm.
when it comes to someone filling the shoes. I definitely was that. And I do think it's in part the graphics engine and the way that people are, smoothed a bit,
Mhm. Yep.
Because as soon as you look at this, like, I didn't recognize this guy for anything, and I've seen him in The Shadow and Bone,
Yeah.
like, so he does look different, and it seems like they're maybe like have him younger at sometimes in the game and then older, and so it throws it some,
Yeah.
you know. I'll maybe show a promotional image later, and it's like, oh, that looks good. Like, it looks really good, but it's like a promotional, high res, perfect thing
Sure. Yeah.
versus like in-game footage.
Right.
So, are we okay with a younger Bond?
I am. I like an origin story, and I like an earning of a 00. I think that's why like Casino Royale works pretty well.
Sure.
People like an origin. They like you're moving up to the next level and you're aiming for that promotion. I think there's
But
always going to be something fun about an origin story.
when should around what age should Bond's earning of his double O status happen? Like, when does that make sense?
Yeah, that's difficult to say because I don't know that like age is necessarily the prerequisite.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, really anytime he can prove himself equal to the task. I mean, I would have a hard time saying that MI6 is going to want anybody, you know, pre like 18 or, like
Oh,
even to
yeah.
like you know what I mean? Or even pre like 23, 24, 25 when your frontal cortex is like more fully developed because yeah, well they want somebody to make risky decisions and put their life on the line and kind of like have that adrenaline rush. They don't want somebody who like can't read context
Right.
or isn't, you know what I mean? So there's like a delicate balance where, you think you need your agents to be a certain age and a certain, I don't know, like you need to have like the youthful risk of I'm going to live forever and I'm just going to do this wild stuff because I think I can. And also like
Mhm.
you need to go schmooze and be in a room and not sound like a complete moron.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
difficult.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of like you want that as a spy that needs to blend in places and all that sort of thing, be worldly. You need some life experience for that
Right. You need
element
to
of it.
read people
Yeah.
and you don't,
Mhm.
you get that with experience.
Yeah. So if theoretically, he's in the Royal Navy at 18, he's, some training, and then you'd think you'd want, let's say, 5 to 7 years of
Right.
like mission experience. And then if you prove yourself, you're really good, you want something different, there's your
Yeah.
chance.
So like late
So your
20s.
late 20s, early 30s, because that's the thing with Craig. He did his opening, just become a 00.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what age he was at the time, but mid 30s,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah. I
know?
mean, you have to be physically fit too. That's
Mhm.
you have to do all of these things. And there's, I think, a very short window. You can certainly extend it by, um, you know, keeping a healthy lifestyle and keeping your body in great physical condition, but there is like a limited window where you can do all of these things at the same time.
Mhm. It would be, I don't remember what it was in the books, but I know in the books they specifically called out like a age that if he's still alive, he's forced into a desk job.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know if it's like 45 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I mean it's like solidly earlier than like average retirement years. But yeah, cuz you can't just do the physical stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm good.
Side note on the
Yeah.
appearance, I mean, like I said, I did for like a hot second right here in this framing was like Tom Cruise. And then like I said, did not think that again and I actually like his look in the rest of the trailer. The one thing I did sort of like pause at was the cheek scar
Okay.
for blending purposes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just it feels like a little more like identifying mark kind of thing. So that's like a little interesting of a gamble
Like,
for a spy.
Oh, but I mean, that's what he has. I mean, he got that in Casino Royale. So that's the thing. Like he got it in the
I know,
book.
but they diminish it so much. Do
I
you know what I
know they don't
mean?
talk about it much. They don't talk about it much.
So
But
it is hard because yeah, I mean, it I think it would make life a lot more difficult as a spy, wouldn't you?
I mean, but all the stuff that Bond does is making life difficult for a spy. I mean, using his name, James
I
Bond,
know.
all the
I
time,
know.
like it's definitely a little elements of the fantasy. He
Right.
it's like,
Well, and
um,
who are we to say James Bond is his real name?
well, I mean, I
Do you know what I
guess.
mean? They could just like be using the alias all the time.
Yeah, right. I'm good with a young Bond for the game. I don't
Yes,
want
I think
to
it's
see a
fun.
young Bond movie, but for the game, like to separate itself from whatever the next movie is going to be, I think it makes sense. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
And you are?
So like here, I didn't,
Moneypenny.
I'm already like different facial. You know what I mean? Like he looks like
Yep.
his own person now.
Right. Yep. Well, you can see how they like it varies a little bit upon actual release. But
Yeah.
what do you think of Moneypenny?
Look good.
Presumably Moneypenny. Yeah. I think. I
Yeah,
don't know.
presumably Moneypenny.
Yeah. I like her
Looks
hair.
good, but where's my immediate banter, people?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. We'll see if they get there. We'll see if that's
Yeah.
that becomes a thing. I'm always like looking for them to embrace the older elements of Bond, and I think
Mhm.
that's going to be a fair mix in here. But her
Yeah.
glasses remind me of the glasses that Moneypenny wore in. I think she's only Moneypenny in one film. That's The Living Daylights.
Ooh, man.
That actress, I think, is only in
I'd have
that
to
one
reach back for
because I don't
that.
know that she's in License to Kill at all. And
Sure.
she is definitely like she's probably the most gorgeous person to play Moneypenny, but she's also probably the most like ditzy sort of thing,
Sure.
and she has big glasses.
Oh, yeah, I see the big glasses.
Are they kind of squarish like this, if I'm remembering right, or am I
Um,
just
I think you are close, but remembering a little bit.
okay?
They do like sit almost that wide on her face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're a little rounder, especially like at the bottom. They're not quite the angles.
Okay. So,
But definitely like I get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
Okay, so you said I mean, that's mild, right? But it's like I don't think we've had the
Mild.
pleasure. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, mild.
Mild. I
This
think
guy's throwing James Bond more looks than she is.
maybe he's looking at Moneypenny right
over
now.
the shoulder, like hello.
Yeah, welcome back in here, Moneypenny. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, this Q-esque fella.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
would be my presumption. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like
Shouldn't have.
I missed it, but the watches in there with the branding, yes.
Yep.
Yes. I just saw today someone do a mock-up of the watch. Like they got real close up, it's freeze frame, and then they 3D rendered it or whatever, made a mock-up.
Fun.
And people are wondering if Omega is going to actually make this watch, because they're like, did the game just reveal a new Omega watch?
Oh, fun. That would be a cool
Because
partnering.
it
would make a lot of sense.
Because Omega is the brand. It's the watch
Yeah.
brand and they've had the deal since Brosnan's from
Yep.
Goldeneye. And
Yep.
people are like, I don't recognize this band, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of detail put into it. They've got the name on it. I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't actually make the watch. So
I agree.
I really hope they do.
We'll keep an eye out for sure.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have.
Our training scenarios.
Yep.
Good for getting us
Well,
in.
we talk about putting him in the program, so clearly, like, they have a standardized set of training that they have to do. So that's kind of fun to get a peek at that.
Yep.
We get some of the like training montagey stuff, I think both in Brosnan and in Craig when they like come back. When they're like coming back from whatever, like, Craig hasn't been a 00 in a while, and then he like comes back and he has to go through all like the stress tests and like the physical and stuff. And after Brosnan gets captured, we get a little bit of like testing and analysis and all of that, but we haven't seen like a, an origin program.
Yeah. Like, yeah. If there's a, like, would we go back and see this as an entry points to the Navy, or is this a program to be in 00s?
I think it's programmed to be 00s.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Greenway talks about putting him in the program after, that he talks about his Naval Academy experience.
Yeah. And I guess that's him here in this part of it. So,
yeah.
But he's doing like a lie detector thing. I see a 20% lie.
Yeah.
They're teaching him how to
I think it's
deceive.
Yeah. I think it's like a standardized, program there where they like weed out who could or couldn't be, and then, from there send them on whatever mission they think is, or missions they think are relevant to gain that final level of experience. But yeah, I like it.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
A little sneak at gameplay.
009 is a master manipulator.
I mean, that's what Hitman's known for. I have to throw in here. So one, we saw like quick little like laser grid, if you will, go over everything. So to me, that's going to be the sort of modern, like a lot of video games do, is some sort of sense or whatever to scan the environment and like show you things that are interactable and stuff. So looks like there'll be something like that. I'm good with that if it fits. Like, not every game neneeds to have
Don't
that.
shoehorn it in.
Yeah. And then I have to call out the judo throw. We'll watch that again.
Yeah.
Right there. We got sort of a like I guess it'd be a let's see, like an Ogoshi kind of, I guess. But
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to come up with some names by yourself on there. I can recognize a judo throw, but I could not tell you a certain technique.
Yeah, it's Bond's supposed to be trained in judo and boxing, so I love that element. If they add in some good throws for takedowns in this.
Yeah, I love the motion of this. The you can see like when the full twist begins, and there's like a definite like shifting of like, the body weight momentum is on my side now. So that's a beautiful bit of
Yeah. Ashley would know. I'm saying Ogoshi, but really you grab her on the hip for that one. This is the buddy throw, more or less.
009 is a
I like that, and I like this location.
Me too. I was just gonna say I love the interior, and now like I'm guessing it's the exterior of this same like hotel-esque kind of building.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to call out, like the narration we're getting here. Love this, where they say 009 is a master manipulator. So I am super excited that this means we're going up against a former 00, a la GoldenEye. Love it.
I agree. I love that sort of the rival, like the experienced guy that we know is a major threat, and versus the new and up and coming guy. So he's the underdog.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
he'll be underestimated. And yeah, I agree.
And it's not, and it's, them saying like he's a master manipulator is giving the sense of like it's not just going to be a physical battle. Like this is really going to test, Bond mentally as well to be because I think they're already intimating he has like some of the physical skills or like the just like straight up combat experience. But it's like, are you mature enough to think situations through? So it is that kind of like, adult transition. So love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Whatever the end game is, we won't see it coming.
Jet lag gets me every time.
So silly line, jet lag, gets me every time. No?
I mean, it's like it's okay. It's kind of funny.
I'm good with some of the cheese. I want some of the cheese a little bit. Quips.
As long as there's not like a toy airplane in the room or something like super dumb. But
we gotta like look like a good glimpse of so it really they were trying to show us stealth using little like sleeping darts or something like that.
Yep.
Takedowns and then like
toss,
just
grenades.
gunplay and
gunplay,
and firefights and all that sort of thing. So
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With respect, Mom. To hell with that.
To me, that seemed like like this. So maybe it's this person that walks in here. Maybe it's someone else. Clearly, he makes a friend, and M's reminding her it's you just use these people. They're not.
Yes.
You're not their pals. And he's already rebelling, just as Greenway said he would.
Yes. Well, and we've watched Bond notoriously struggle with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
With his relationships to people he's working with. So it's a good reminder that that's always there.
Yep. Look at that watch, Andrea. Look at it.
You're just gonna like curate yourself a set of watch shots.
What's that?
I said you're just gonna curate for yourself a set of watch shots and just like hang them up.
Yeah. No, it's all the work is like I say the work has already been done for me.
Right.
It's already someone made a really good like here. This is from the account. Omega Bond Watches. Okay.
Omega Bond Watches. Okay.
So on Instagram, we'll see if okay. Firstly, I'm very small, so you're not gonna be able to see.
Yes,
that.
I was gonna say. I can tell that's a watch.
Yeah. If I can find a way to share it, I will. But they did a really good job. So.
To hell with that.
Car chase.
Yeah. I love
gotta have it.
I love the car. I like the car a lot. Trailer really hits its stride at this point, and has a lot of energy to it. I'm wondering who's in the car, with him there.
Yeah.
Again, is it that woman that we just saw? I don't know.
Did we see a little side shot a little bit earlier in the chase of her or his face? I thought.
Well, definitely of him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, that looks like her. Could easily be a woman with pulled back hair, like that. So
yep.
I'm running again, but
yeah.
Here we get so the trailer is remarkably slim on like him wearing suits and such,
yes,
really super Bondy thing. But here you get what's like a silhouetted version of him wearing like a white tux. It seems like. So it's kind of fun, like saying we're gonna have it, but we're not showing it all yet.
Yeah, I remember thinking You know, Craig bursting onto the scene in Casino Royale in his like Hawaiian shirt. It's so not Bond. So I think they're going for a more utilitarian, you know, version of that here.
I do think there's a
with his
proper
dress.
balance. You know, like it doesn't have to be like Roger Moore that suits a lot. And there's different stuff, but it's, you know, there's clown get-ups and and then like safari shirts. There's some variation, but it's a lot of suits. So I do like that you know, if you were a spy, you would have different stuff you'd wear.
Tell me, what do you do, James? Lately,
Another sort of thing.
headhunting.
Now, is that actress look familiar at all? She looks familiar to me, but I can't place it.
Yeah, this one's a little tougher. Like I could get to Morgan from Walking Dead, but this one I'm not positive on.
I love this shot. This feels very
yeah.
That feels very Tomorrow Never Dies to me, but at a daylight, you know?
For sure. Also, headhunting. That's a great line.
Sure.
That works for me. That's funny.
Yeah. It's we got to get some of the double entendre. We got to get some of the
Right. But that's some like tongue-in-cheek wit that's like, you know, not like crazy puns and like sounds believable for us. We're like, I got it. So that's a good line.
I want a little less collar popping.
Yes. Yeah. It's a bit much.
Headhunting.
Because that's a different woman there, isn't it? That looks like a different woman.
Oh yeah, for
This
sure.
looks like something completely different. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of stuff went by fast there.
Yeah.
This room looks cool.
Yeah. Also,
what's going
you gotta
on.
love like a classic like energy project / maybe nuclear bomb kind of. You know what I mean? You gotta love that kind of classic threat.
Yep.
Like this is really innovative, and you're doing something for a specific purpose, but also this could be like large scale destruction.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. See, I'm maybe pausing extra here because I can try to find things I want. Sword fighting. I know a little sword fight. We're getting a little Die Another Day in here.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's got his like hotel disguise plus like what looks like cater waiter gloves. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like in the wine cellar. We got like wine bottles around.
Yeah.
And stuff here.
Not an efficient use of space in a wine cellar, gotta say.
No, it's not. They're very premium bottles. See, they can charge extra because they can tell the customers that they're not even, you know, near other cheaper wines.
That's
like,
right.
They
can't absorb through osmosis. They're like terrible quality.
So you talked about that shirt that Daniel Craig showed up in first, and he kind of was wearing a sort of one here. So
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, this guy looks
is interesting. Yeah. I was noticing that too on my first and now this watch of the trailer as well. Creepy.
I hope this is what we get 009 and he's super mysterious and awesome and or number one henchman, right? Something like that.
Yes. Upper tier boss level.
But what does this tell us? You know, he's surrounded by like looks like, you know, Greek
Roman statuary.
Yeah. And then he's
Greek
got
or Roman,
this, this sort of thing on. Like, what is? I feel like he is a man with a creed, and this
Yeah.
is not
But then,
just like
like,
I'm.
check the full, like, modern Black Ops military guy behind him
Yep.
to the left.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Super interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, but visually, I'm all about this.
Oh,
Looks-
yeah. Love it.
And then doing the like turn and gun barrel-y thing, but
Yeah.
without the gun barrel. That's cool too.
So good. So get the gunshot.
Yeah, I don't, if there's any music that's gonna kill us, it's
Yeah, right.
I suppose this is another teachable moment.
So, and that feels like License to Kill, or
Yes,
something.
for sure.
Going over the Gators or Live and Let Die.
Yes. Yep. I was thinking that too.
So yeah, that's Bond, First Light, 2026. I mean,
solid.
again, to me, they put together a trailer that really looks, it's got a lot of energy. It feels like a movie trailer. I think they did a great job on that. I hope that they nail the actiony elements, because they're clearly used to the stealth elements for Hitman.
Right.
And I'm fully ready to embrace this as our Bond right now. And I just like, where does this put us for Bond 26? Like, does what happens if in a month they say, here's our director and here's our actor?
Right.
Does that matter at all?
Yeah, they've had nothing as far as release. There's a lot of speculation about 2027.
Yeah, at the earliest.
But yeah, exactly. They said they want it. And Amazon has, the money to throw at stuff to make it happen. That doesn't mean it's going to be quality, but they could make a speedy production if that's their goal. But yeah,
really
no, I mean, there's
like
such nothing, zero news.
It really felt like they were just flying through. Like they meant business. They spent a lot of money on this. They're gonna, they got the producers and they just were rolling along. But if you're them, do you be like, try to gauge the reception of this and let this be and breathe? Like give it the full treatment, because
does
that's
Hollywood
what
have patience?
Yeah. Typically not. No,
Yeah,
that's true. I just think that, to me, this trailer, what I got out of it is they're taking this project seriously more than any movie tie-in game, or for sure any James Bond game in the past. Like it's its own, their own Bond they're introducing, but they're carrying over brands from the movies and putting together a very cinematic trailer. To me, it just says, this is our vision of Bond. Here it is. Here's for a generation, an audience that maybe hasn't been in on the movies or whatever. And games are just as culturally significant, probably more so than movies. Do you just give this the royal treatment and let that happen? People are going to want the movies. Obviously, there's going to be an audience only for the movies.
Sure.
But do you let this game come out, find the hopefully critical and audience success, and then much closer to the release of the next movie, say, here's our director and actor and stuff like that?
I think so. I do. And certainly from a game perspective, yes, because I think a lot of the James Bond games, setting aside GoldenEye, a lot of the James Bond games that have been successful have not been tied directly to movies.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're not
Yeah.
like Quantum of
Nightfire
Solace
and
or yeah.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly. Yep. So from a game perspective, absolutely that would make a lot of sense. And hopefully, you know, as a movie exec, you'd want to like have it enjoy that success without like stomping over it with your announcements. But
Yeah. I don't know because like Expedition 33, amazing game. It's out now, whatever. You know, the voice actors have made rounds doing interviews, talking about their characters, all this sort of thing. They're at, you know, and you know, I just would like to see that with this game, you know?
yeah,
The cast
yeah,
is out there, they're interviewing, we talk to the composer, you know, all this sort of thing. We get a soundtrack release where we get product tie-in releases, all this sort of thing.
right.
Just as if it's the next Bond movie, just treat it that way because it's the same thing as like if they all of a sudden come out with the Batman Part 2 and then at the same time they announce here's our new Batman for James Gunn's world, it just diminishes both things.
Mm-hmm. Again, don't talk to me about DC
Yeah.
knowing how to diminish things. Which, by the way, like their Batman is coming out like super soon. I've
Huh?
heard nothing about it.
I didn't get pushed back. The Brave and the Bold or whatever.
I really thought it said it was coming out sooner.
If it didn't, I guarantee it will because we would have heard casting something or another, you know, and all that sort of thing, I think.
Oh man, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Oh, Superman. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's coming out soon.
Which in like a month, less than a month, and I've heard like nothing.
Oh,
Sorry,
really? Well, trailers. They've had a number of trailers.
But I've had like almost no promotion for it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, on like social media and things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember just watching the trailer the other day. I think following. HBO Max is like having all the Batmans rerun on their channel, which was very fun. So they were doing some, you know, promotion of new stuff, and I was watching a trailer. And not that I hadn't seen it before, but it was just like July 11th. Like, holy crap! That's really coming up.
Yep, that and Fantastic Four, both of them are.
Yes, but I've seen more promotion for Fantastic Four. Absolutely.
Okay, interesting.
I also think probably because, you know, Pedro Pascal's a hot commodity.
Oh, Jesus. Don't get me going on Pedro Pascal. I was looking for the thing. Like there's two things that tie in with this. There's like you can play Hitman and you can get you can play a thing where you have to assassinate Lashif, and Mads Mikkelsen's back to do that little bit of a role. And you can play that for free. So I'm planning to do that.
Yeah.
If you do that, you get like an extra skin or whatever, you know, that you can unlock when this game comes out. So,
that's fun. I dig it.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just think I think it adds a complication is all. And if I was Amazon, I'd be thinking about this. I'd be like, does this take some pressure off at least? And let's just we have a James Bond thing out there that a lot of people might really care about. And if this is good, this is going to only drive more people to our movie when it happens. Cause you know, I'm of the opinion at this point, like if this guy does a good job in the game, put him in a movie. But obviously they're going to, you know, like, I don't know what you do.
They're not.
It adds a complication. Like if they're going to do 3 games with him, do we then, and in the meantime, we can get a couple movies with some other Bond and there's these 2 kind of separate universes existing. Then cast this guy when he's, you know, 40 in a movie. I don't know. There's lots of possibilities.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you pace things and do this stuff. So.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that they would, not that this guy's not a good actor, and he's definitely got like swagger and charm as we've seen in Shadow and Bone, but I have a hard time imagining he's a front runner for the movie.
Yeah.
He's young.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe
It would be
we
a
have
very
this,
it would be a very deliberate choice, you know what I mean, to do another young Bond origin story.
you'd have to not do an origin story. You can't do a game origins. That's the thing. You definitely, in my opinion, you definitely can't do an origin story in the movies now.
Right.
This to me is a conversation with directors, whoever they're trying to get. It's like, you can't do an origin story. We have a big, high budget game, high profile game coming out that people are it's resonating with people. We're not doing that is doing an origin story. We're not doubling that up. This changes things, is my point. Like, this is not just in a vacuum.
People are dumb sometimes. Like, DC has just,
okay. Yes.
To hell with origin stories and like 12 Batmans and Jokers and, I hope people are learning from their mistakes, but sometimes I get worried.
What would you do, Andrea? Because yes,
At
a lot
Amazon?
of Hollywood makes dumb decisions, but what would you do? Yeah, you're Amazon. You see this, you know that this has been in production, but you have your own people working on throughout the movies. You see this trailer come out because they do see it, and people are liking it. And it's coming out next year. What's your move with the movie?
I say we use it as a cover to buy some time to like make decisions and then freaking make them. You know what I mean? Like, stop this, like, take the reprieve from the endless speculation of who Bond is going to be in the movie and let people focus their attention here and use that time to like work and make your decisions and keep them in the dark.
Okay.
And like gauge how people enjoy, the video game. If there's successful elements that you can pull from it, but don't make a copy, don't do what the video game does. And I would say probably not use the actor.
Okay.
I still love the idea. I hope this is happening. I still love the idea of like setting Bond movies in their OG setting and doing like a series that way of some of them. My heart is stuck on that. It seems so much fun.
I think it wasn't going to happen under Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, because they were told and lived by, and it did work, that Bond movies are of the time and they deal with today, and that's how it stays alive, because it adapts to today.
Yeah, there is a danger in going back and like kind of dating Bond that way. But there's still, I think there's been so much acknowledgement in the present Bond movies of the, difficulties of spying in the digital age.
Right.
That it's just going to continue to be the elephant in the room if you keep making it so modern.
Sure.
So, and if you're clever and can find ways to address that, then that's wonderful. But I don't think it's something you can just like hide, especially if you've brought it up in previous movies.
Yep. I think they can get their way around that. I think it's that whole thing, like you still want someone to look someone in the eye before they pull the trigger, kind of thing. But I do think that this does open up an opportunity there that Amazon could see. It's like, look, here's our modern Bond. This is what we have. This is the game. If it does well, we're having our trilogy, and it can really offer up the opportunity to bring in different fans, or like maybe fans that have fallen off, and really separate it from the games. If you went back to period piece, I think before this, no way that's happening. Probably, but maybe this game allows for that sort of thing, because I just don't think you want to cross the wires here or cross the streams, whatever. I just don't think you want to have that be the case where there's this confusion. We've got two separate Bond storylines going in the games and the movies, because those audiences will overlap. There'll be, in whatever circles, there's going to be an overlap. and I don't know, but anyways, that's it. That's the trailer. I'm excited. Hope it's good, and
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait for it to come out. And I'm very interested to see what happens with the movies. Not because I'm anxious for a movie now, because to me this is what we got, and I'm happy about this. And but I just
Yeah.
curious which path they're gonna take.
Yeah, I like this, and I like our look at our potential main or high up villain. I'm guessing main villain. That is
Too cool to not
what
be.
yeah, wildly intriguing, and just knowing he's a formal 00 master manipulator, playing mind games. I love it. I love the setup. I love the premise. I hope the game can deliver.
Yep. Nice. All right. Those are our video game trailers.
Mhm.
Our EFAPs of them. Make sure you leave comments. Let us know what you think on YouTube. You know, we got Popcast on the Rocks. You can follow us there. Our normal show is a podcast, and that goes up on, you know, podcast services of your choice. So Apple Podcasts and Spotify and others. You can leave a review there. That'd be appreciated. But this podcast live, we just do this for whatever we feel like when we have a topic we want to talk about. So this just will live here on Twitch and YouTube and that sort of thing, and X on demand. This won't go to podcast services. So that's what you get for this. But we'll be back next week, maybe with for the podcast show, either Popcast on the Rocks or Ohio Anime. Either with maybe Batman and Robin discussion or Look Back, the anime film. So yeah, stay tuned. Anyways, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And see everybody next time.
Sounds good. Happy we could talk to Bond and Res Evil, two of our favorite